guys, this is E from Jungle Blends, and today I want to make a soap that has some star embeds. So I want to make a design that is kind of like a night sky with some stars in it, and with a gradient of colors of blue going from light to dark. So yeah, let's get started. And these are my embeds. So it doesn't look like stars right now, it looks like Mexican churros. But once they will be cut in pieces, you will be able to see the star shape. And then I have the other little stars that are also made of soap dough, and I made them with little the little dough shapes. So now I'm just mixing the lye water with my oils and my butters. And we're gonna stick blend this up until we reach emulsion. The scent I'm using, I know it passed by really fast, but it's Nature's Garden sandalwood. I have to say, to me it doesn't really smell like sandalwood, but it still smells nice. And the good thing about this fragrance is it behaves super well, meaning that, you know, your trace will not thicken until much later in the process, which is a good thing when you want to do intricate designs. So here I'm making a first layer at the bottom that will be the floor. And when I decided to do this, I actually totally forgot about the fact that it will be a long time before this layer hardens. So what I did is I sprayed it with rubbing alcohol. I sprayed a lot of it, and that creates sort of a film over the soap batter, kind of like, because it dries the moisture in it, so it creates kind of like a skin. I don't know if you can see this properly in this video. So this allows me to very delicately pour my blue batter on top of it without breaking it, or almost without breaking it. You will see in the cut that there are like a few parts where it broke through, but most of it actually stayed intact. So here what I was going for was an ombre effect. I wanted to go from very light until very dark at the top, all while incorporating the stars. And I hadn't really thought it through. So at first I started flat, and then I decided to put a small inclination while I was pouring my batter. So as I go, I just add more and more of the blue oxide that I had diluted in oil, and I just keep mixing it in the batter. So it's what I'm adding right here, as you can see. So I have been quite messy during this process. I've been filling up my containers a little bit too much, and normally I soap cleaner, but somehow every time I'm filming I guess I'm getting a bit nervous, and I'm all over the place. So this is me pouring, and I'm making 2 loaves at the same time, so that also complicates things, especially when you want to do something a bit more intricate, like in this case. But it's all good. It's all good. So here I'm placing my little churros. I'm cutting off the ends, and because I want them to be nice and smooth, and I don't really have a system. I just kind of place them wherever, making sure that the entire loaves have, you know, at least 3 stars each. Some pieces will have 4 because I'm just using up all my soap dough. I don't know if this happens to you also, but I actually have quite a ton of soap dough available from little projects that went wrong. Mostly my soap dough emerges from failed piping. Either piping that became soap on a stick really quickly, so I don't have another choice but to use it as soap dough. But every once in a while I'm trying to just use it all up and come up with a project that I could utilize it in, because I really hate when soap goes to waste. So I actually have some soap dough that is not usable anymore, that became too hard, and I guess I'll just have to cut it up and use it as confetti soap. But I'm trying to never ever throw away any soap whenever possible. I mean, the materials are just too valuable, too expensive. And yeah, and it's just a shame to let it all go to waste. And I don't know about you guys, but I live in Panama, so most of my ingredients come from abroad. Most of it I have to actually bring from the US, believe it or not. I mean, I know other soap makers in Panama and they do the same. So I guess it's very hard to come by certain ingredients here in Panama. And so yeah, so you really don't want to waste anything, because that means more shipping costs, and we want to avoid that as a small business for sure. So yeah, I again apologize. Like, as you can see, my table is super messy, and yeah, I don't really have the time to clean up in between. I'm trying, but just making a huge mess of it regardless. That's because my batter starts to thicken up. It's been quite a while. I'm accelerating this for you because otherwise it would be way too long, but my batter is starting to get quite thick, so it makes it hard for me to actually mix in more of the oxide. Even my stick blender wouldn't mix it in properly. So, and here I'm just placing what I have left. Again, I don't really have a system about how many I place in each. I'm just kind of distributing as I go, and making sure that each of them have about an equal number of stars. And then we're going to put the last layer on top and place our little flat stars. So this is the last of my layers. And I actually wanted it to be a bit darker, but in the end, I guess I had too much batter left to make it really dark. I should have added some activated charcoal or some black oxide, but it's still not a bad blue sky. All right, so I'm just cleaning up my mold a little bit, and here we go. So we're placing those little stars, and I don't really have quite enough to put exactly 2 on each piece, so I'm just kind of distributing them randomly. Also, some pieces get 1, some pieces get 2, and that is because I simply didn't have time. Actually, working with soap dough is super time consuming, and I don't know about you, but my days always fly by, so I really have to set some time aside and, you know, dedicate it to making embeds. So here we go. So now I'm just kind of putting some glitter on top. My technique of using glitter is with a makeup brush. I find that that's the easiest. I just dip it in the bag with glitter, and then I just, you know, tap it lightly, and I find that that gives the best and the most even distribution. So here's my soap top. I've sprayed it with alcohol, and here we are the next day for the cut. So this first piece only has 2 stars in it, but then the rest of them have 3 and even 4. So here you can see that my bottom didn't break. It's not evenly flat, but that's okay because I didn't want it to be evenly flat. And then as we go further, I don't know when exactly, but there's one. There's one piece where you see that the blue part kind of broke through the surface of the black or the gray, but it's okay. I don't think it's ugly. I think it looks interesting, and it still looks like a sky with stars in it. And here we go. So this is the final view of all the pieces. I hope you can see they're all different, which is pretty cool. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope that you really enjoyed it, and yeah, let me know if you like to make soaps with those sorts of embeds. Actually, to make those star embeds, I used this thing, which is an extruder but for Play-Doh. It belongs to my toddler, and it's by far the absolute best one I've tried so far. I have this one that I had purchased from Amazon, and honestly it didn't work for me. I don't know, maybe I'm just using it wrong, but I was not able to get really nice, you know, consistent embeds with it. This thing, however, so easy to use. I mean, obviously a 2-year-old can use it. And it made the best embeds ever. So yeah, if you ever, if you feel at loss for it, like just try the Play-Doh one. That's what I would recommend you to do. Anyways, if you like the video, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss the next video. And by any means, if you want to leave me a comment, a suggestion, any feedback, I'm always happy to read them. So see you soon for the next one. Bye guys.